the Queen of Swords reversed. So whenever the Queen of Swords reversed comes up in a reading, it automatically represents something that's not right. There is bitterness, there is cruelty, they're cold-hearted, they've closed their heart off about something or someone, and misery loves company. So the Queen of Swords reversed fills you in with all of the bad news and gossip. This queen is taking a look at everything and it's all negative. There's judgment everywhere. She's full of her opinions and they're all negative. They're all suspicious and they're all discouraging, regardless whether you've asked for her viewpoint or not. The trademark of the Queen of Swords reversed is her insistence on living in the past. So there's usually an unhappy memory that's haunting her, and she refuses to bury this painful past or this incident. So she's bitter, and she drags her unhappy past into her present, as if she's wearing it as a shield of self-defense, using it as an excuse not to exert herself towards growth. So she darkens her present situation and she poisons the future of those who come under her influence and into her domain. So when this card is in reverse, her sword of victory becomes a weapon for retaliation and revenge. This represents a sign of unstable mentality. And so her mentality is active and she's turning her mind into cunning and manufacturing things, and she becomes manipulative, devious, and it's all going into some sort of plan. And she's sharp-tongued and quick. Her words can be cruel. Her judgments can be prejudiced and excessively harsh. And she may also use her cold accusations as her defense. So the hardship and the hardships in life has handed her, made her become this way. It's been too overwhelming. So whenever this card comes up, she's stuck in an overwhelming situation. It was hard and difficult. So she develops a chip on her shoulder and becomes unhappy. Her opinions may be one-sided, misinformed, and they're definitely not to be trusted. There is some kind of illusion. This card represents qualities of self-pity, deception, backstabbing, prejudice, and even mainly poor decision-making. And this is a card of making the wrong decision. So whenever this comes up in a reading and they're asking, should I, do something, it usually represents a no. The Queen of Swords reversed indicates that you may be thinking too much with your heart and you're becoming emotionally involved with this current situation. And because of this, your emotions can lead you astray. We're talking about negative emotions. And when we all know that when we get stuck into a negative pattern or energy, it just continues to feed and grow until we snap ourselves out of it. So this card is a sign of snapping ourselves out of the way we are seeing things because it's not right. And it also represents being cold-hearted and resentful. So what are you resentful about when this is coming up? Because there's something that is happening with your outside world that you're taking in the wrong way. So when this comes up in a relationship reading reversed, there's some kind of trauma in the relationship. There's toxic relationship. There's manipulation, cruelty, mentally unstable, controlling, game playing, all the crazy stuff you can think of, as well as untruthfulness. And when it comes to a career reading, this represents some kind of cruel energy at work, whether it's a coworker or a boss, but there's too much negativity and poor communication. So something is not being said. And when this comes up in a financial reading, there's financial confusion. They're making the wrong decisions. So they're not seeing things right. And it's just going to get worse. So whenever this comes up, the way of thinking has to change. The only way to get out of it is to change your perception, to shift. So what are the cards trying to get your attention with? Where's the real story that's happening? And why are you in a state, or your seeker in a state of reversal? So take a look at the other swords. And is this something that's coming up? If it's something that shows that's coming up in the future, make sure you pull 3 more cards. If it's something that's already happened in the past, then it's still influencing them today. So you need to see what path that's going to take them.